Next speaker, Tammy, come on up and let's give a big round of applause. 1 million cup round to Tammy Q to follow through the room.
Thank you, Dr. Norman. Hi, everybody. I am Tammy Q, the follow through guru. The best way to get a hold of me is to text me. That's my phone number. Okay, I am a native New Mexican and I'm very, very proud of that. Both my mother and my father were born here in Albuquerque as well. And so it's just a fun little fact. I absolutely love New Mexico and Albuquerque. And so I'm really, really proud of that. And I was a computer programmer, data analyst for 30 years. I was a contractor to Intel, Sandia Labs, several places, Department of Energy. And I always wanted my own business because I wanted to affect millions of lives in a positive way, give people something that makes their lives better or easier because I love putting smiles on people's faces. I invented a product and I got it patented fully and manufactured in the USA. And once I did that, I decided, well, my job was not much fun, so I quit it in 2019. And now fast forward, I'm known as the follow through guru. How did that happen? It's because people were coming to me and asking me, how do I do that? How do I get things off the ground that I've been dreaming of all my life? Getting a full patent takes a while and it takes some dedication, and I did it while working full time. And people wanted to know, how did you do that? And so eventually I was being referred to many people, and eventually I was referred to as the follow through guru. What is that? I'm your high performance guide, your personal high performance guide, one-on-one. I give a free heart clarity session. And in that heart clarity session, you will walk away with very clear steps about what comes next. What is your very best next step toward your most desired outcome? Something that's near and dear to your heart that maybe has been calling out to you for a long, long time. And you haven't been able to get it done on your own because life keeps getting in the way, right? It's custom tailored one-on-one personal guidance for your specific needs and desires, not a group of people's specific needs and desires. What works for you best might not work for the other person very well. So we really target what works best for you personally. So it's really, really targeted to your specific challenges, and I brainstorm with you. So what does that mean? I help you follow through with those things that you haven't been able to do, maybe on your own. Maybe it's something you've been dreaming about your whole life. Maybe it's something that you've been wanting to do for months, years, and you just, like I said, life keeps getting in the way. So what will you experience? You will experience excitement instead of pressure. This is no pressure. You're going to be excited about those things that you could never seem to get to before. You're also going to be experiencing a lot less stress and enthusiasm as you're working toward your biggest goals and dreams that are nearest and dearest to your heart. And you'll feel a heck of a lot more empowered once you're living your life more fully, taking solid steps towards your biggest goals and dreams and what really, really matters the most to you. So in that heart clarity session, we will get really, really clear on what it is that's been calling to you, that's nearest and dearest to your heart, and that will make the biggest difference in your life in the next 30 days. These are my challenges. This is what I don't do well, is social media. My Facebook page, for instance, it doesn't really reflect what I do very well, very effectively, and I don't want to work on it. I don't. I'm just going to. And so I need help with that, with somebody who does love working on things like that. And also, I love doing videos. I love doing presentations. And I can figure out my presentations really well and come up here and do things like this. But when it comes to, oh, figure out about 50 videos that you could do for 1 minute and put them on social media. No, thank you. But if you, Dan, told me, hey, you should just sit down for 30 seconds and just tell me a little thing about the ticket, or tell me a little thing about your last client, what breakthrough she had or whatever, then I would say, okay, because I take direction very, very well. And so, and I would love to work with somebody who can help me just get that social media in order. And I know there's one person here that's really good about things like that. So I'm excited to hear from you all too about what I can do about this and who can help me. And I need to get a landing page put together. I just wanted to say thank you so much to 1 Million Cups. I'm Tammy Q, the follow through guru. Get a free session with me. We'll have fun. Let's just go have some coffee. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. Enjoyed your presentation. It was very thorough and succinct, and I think you got your message across here. Now is an opportunity for everybody here to really dig in and find out more about you, and also to offer some suggestions on your challenges. So just go ahead and receive the questions that come in, and then you're off.
Okay, thank you. So please come up and if you have any questions or suggestions for me.
Hello, Miriam Martisi Pino, More Than Organized. Great presentation, Tammy, but I don't know who your ideal client is. And knowing who your ideal client is will help figure out what social media to focus on. So it's a good first step. Who do you want to work with?
Great question. My ideal client is someone who has a burning desire to do something that has been getting in the, or things have been getting in the way of getting that accomplished. For instance, getting a patent or writing a book or going to that next level in their business. It's something unknown to them, but they unknown as far as like they're going into uncharted territory sometimes. And I think that's enough.
Still a little vague, but do you want to work with men or women? What age group? So we want to get the characteristics as well as what kind of people within that niche do you like to work with? So do you like people that have a sense of humor? Do you like people that are real science nerds or process nerds? Where is it that you like to work? Because it's not everybody or anyone.
Okay. My clients typically, I love lots of different types of people. Probably more on the humorous side. It's someone who really wants to gain a sense of clarity and confidence in something that they want to do. And as far as age group, I've worked with a lot of different ages, but I'll tell you that people tend to feel like they're running out of time when they're getting past their 40s.
Yeah.
And they're feeling very regretful. They don't want to let time run out before they get that main objective accomplished.
Way clearer, that last race. So we'll talk more.
Okay, thank you, Miriam. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, so I'm Deanna with Dry Heat Photography, and you see me here every week shooting the photos. But another side of my business actually is all the things that you're talking about. So I help kind of like new business owners or even existing business owners establish or improve their online presence, including social media, websites, all of that kind of stuff, in addition to headshots, promotional photography, kind of one-stop shop. So maybe we could talk after this and see if we can sort something out.
I'd love to. Tell me your first name again.
Deanna.
Deanna. Thank you, Deanna.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning, Tammy.
Hi, JP.
How you doing?
Good.
Great presentation. So I learned something very interesting and amazing from you. So I've met you here for a while and I never really truly understood your business. And so I'm looking at the top tier of your business. Is it consulting people and helping them with their patents and kind of in their getting the product out, or what's your number one service that you're doing?
I most people that are looking to get a patent, they come to me to find out, what did you do? What is the first step? And when should I be doing this? I've got tests to do, like I've got one that came to me recently. I've got all these tests that I'm working on, and I'm working full-time, and I have 3 kids and all this stuff. And so we sit down, we get really, really clear about, well, when's your test gonna end? Shouldn't you be really, really focused on that first? We figure out where they sit in that timeline. And most of the time people it's when somebody comes up to me and says, didn't do it again. Last week my first client ever, she had been working on something for 2.5 years. And every week, every day, every week, every month, she would pay more money to extend her deadline. And within 10 days of us working together, she ended up accomplishing it, and it wasn't an easy task. So I hope that helps.
So would you say you're a consultant in helping people? Okay. So another service is that you're kind of like what I call life support. People call, what do they call, life coaching,
Oh,
where you kind of help center people in their business goal. And I know, when you start on I guess the path of being an entrepreneur, people don't really tell you, oh, it's like navigating a boat out in the ocean without a compass. Sometimes you're like, following the stars and the waves and the weather. And there's a lot of intuition involved that you learn through the process, because you make mistakes and then you don't do those again, hopefully, to get towards your goal. So how would you help people that are kind of like establishing their business, and how would you be able to kind of help mentor them to kind of like navigate some of those obstacles?
awesome question. That heart clarity session really, really helps hone them in as far as, because there's so much out there. There's so much banging around in our heads, and we can't read the label when we're standing inside our own jar. And from getting an outside perspective, I help you figure out what inner stories are going on, what inner patterns are keeping you kind of flailing around and trying to find that compass all the time. We get really, really clear about what it is that's really calling to you, near and dear to your heart. And it just brings it into focus for you so much clearer. I hope, does that help?
Awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate you. And what you just shared makes a lot of sense to me, and has really helped me kind of understand your business better. So congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, JP. Hi.
Hi, everybody. Dr. Andrew Moser with Sacred Patterns Acupuncture. Okay, so couple parts. Like, what kind of things have worked for you in marketing wise? How do you get new clients? Number 2, like, what does a normal session look like? How long? And like, what is pricing? Is it individual? Is it package? How does that look for people?
Okay, so as far as marketing goes, and I'm gonna try to remember, so your question is the pack, what is it packaged like? How much time do you spend with me, and how do people find out about me? Is that right? Okay, so, the way that I've been asked before, well, what kind of marketing do you want to have? The way that I've been meeting my clients is forming relationships with them first, because it's very one-on-one guidance that I'm offering. And so people are reluctant to open up to you unless they get to know you. And when I was talking to somebody just recently, I was saying, I wouldn't want a big billboard up there saying, hey, let me be your follow through guru, because they don't know who I am. So it's very personal relationships have been how I've gotten clients once they get to know me a little bit. And so that's why I'm working on figuring out, how does my Facebook page need to look? What's inviting? What brings them in to just share some time with me in the beginning? That free heart clarity session it's typically 45 minutes to 3 hours if we end up spending that much time together, but we don't do that unless you have that time. I always honor everybody's time limits. And if we want to break it out to 3 different times that we meet, that's fine too. As far as when you do work with me, I have 2 45-minute sessions that I do with you every single week. So we start the week out. The very first week, it's a 5-week, for my high performance clients, it's a 5-week, I call it program. And the first week, we really like roll our sleeves up and figure out what's your 30-day roadmap. Sometimes people just want a week of a roadmap at first, and that's part of, in the free heart clarity session, we figure out what's gonna work best for you. And then, once we get started, the first beginning of the week, we know what you're about to take steps toward. And then in the middle of the week, just like an airplane is off course a lot of the time, I make sure you don't fall off course for 7 days in a row, because our patterns start to step in, our inner stories start to veer us off path. So we course correct if we need to. And if you are tackling it like crazy and getting it accomplished ahead of time, then we figure out, okay, what's the next step now? Like my first client, it was incredible what happened with her. And I've never been anything short of mind blown by my clients about what unlocks within them in a short period of time, shorter than we expected.
So just to clarify, you sell 10-week or 5-week packages?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And if you want to work with me, anybody who really wants to work with me, we find a way to work together one way or another, whatever it is that you need. If you want a 90-day situation, then we figure out how to work it out together.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We're gonna take a question online. Go for it, Annie.
Hi,
Hi,
Annie.
Tammy. Nice to meet you online. I'm an entrepreneur doing sustainable real estate development. My question to you is, what have you tried as far as coaching goes? And how do you segment your market to say, this is for the beginners, this is for somewhere in the middle, and this is for groups that are a little bit more advanced, shall we say? What kinds of coaching tools have you used and leveraged to identify and help us along? So in other words, if I were to come to you and say, hey, I need help, but I'm over here at more the advanced stages of my entrepreneurship. I mean, obviously everybody's in a different journey, if you will. Some are beginning, some are midstream, some are further along. So what have you tried, and what works and what doesn't?
Okay, I love this question. The people that I've worked with are on all those different levels. I was told once that if I were to coach or guide Oprah, I wouldn't have to be a billionaire before I would know how to help her. Her life coach does not make over $1 billion. I don't think, I think someone told me they don't, but anyway, what I do with advanced, medium and beginners is we hone in on what it is you need specifically. So let's use an example of someone who's at an advanced level, they're going to that next level in their business. You're gonna tell me, here's where I just keep running into issues that I'm not getting any answers from these people or those people, et cetera, or my kids keep coming into the room every time I sit down and start to bang out this thing that I'm working on. So we work together on what challenges specifically are going on, and then we chart out a path. No matter whether you're beginner, medium, or advanced, we chart out a path for what's the very next step. Let's take both examples. One, I'm just not hearing back from these people. I don't know what to do. We figure out, okay, where's the lowest hanging fruit? Who's somebody who knows how to get through or around, or where can you go elsewhere? So we just start charting out all the different paths. The kids are coming into the room. I can never, when are the kids asleep? When are they at their friends? Can we take them over to their friend's house for 1 hour next week or something like that? We just brainstorm together. No matter what level you're at, we're just brainstorming and really getting clear. And I'm also hearing inner patterns, inner stories that are going on that you may not be aware of, that we help change. Does that make sense?
A little bit. Yeah, but thank you.
No.
Yeah, that helps. I think it's, yeah, I think it's gonna have to be, maybe you and I should have a cup of coffee and have a chat, for sure. I'll follow up with you, for sure. Time for
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah, virtual coffee. I would love to, Annie. And
Right,
it becomes a lot clearer whether or not it's a great fit, but you will walk away with knowing, hey, here's the very next step that you could do, or much more clarity around what challenges are really going on. You may have thought it was this, it's actually that. That
okay,
happens.
that's
Yeah.
great. Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning,
Hi.
Clifton Chadwick, Comunicaciones Crocopelli. I have a quick, simple question. What did you patent?
Okay, Clifton, I patented the Tucket. It's called the Tucket. It's TUK-IT. And if you go to tucket.com, TUK-IT.com, you can find out more about it. I'd love to do another presentation all about the Tucket.
Hey, Joshua, just 1 second, Danielle, we're gonna call on Joshua next.
Oh, okay, online.
Thank you. Joshua, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Joshua. Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, so I just had a question about if you have ever worked with someone where there was no route to patentability, maybe an idea that was not patentable due to infringing on other patents or competing with maybe like a bigger corporation that had pre-existing patents. How would you navigate a situation like that? And at what point do you recognize that there's kind of no path forward?
Okay, Joshua. So your question is, if somebody's trying to patent something that's already been patented, how do we find out about that? How, and what do we do going forward? Is that right?
Yes, but more so on the edge cases where it's maybe a little bit more ambiguous about whether or not a specific thing has been patented. I know for sure when I'm reviewing patents, I think it's just a little bit confusing what exactly has been patented and what is becoming a novel patent idea that would be applicable to apply for a patent application. Um, so I don't know if that kind of clears things up.
Yes, so you're wondering, so sometimes it's very, very difficult to figure out, well, what about this aspect of this particular patent? And there's a lot to sift through, right? When you're looking and trying to figure out, has this already been patented? When am I infringing? And sometimes it is very hard to tell what is going on there. My answer to you, Joshua, is that how I got my patent was I hired somebody who knew how to sort through these things really, really well. I didn't do that work. He just told me. I take direction very well. He said, hey, here's part of this. You're gonna go home. He already knew basically how to sift through that. He told me the parts I could do to look through certain things, and then I'd bring him my results and he would sift through that. And that's how I did it. And so I don't have to know all of that. I go to somebody who does know it. One thing I want to tell you all is that my patent, I got it for less than $3,000, I believe. And it was because I went to CNM and I was in a course and there was somebody, they were partnered with Tech Ventures. And this individual who helped me at Tech Ventures was incredible. And I was able to, since I was a student, I was able to get advice for free from him. So anyone who's looking to get a patent, just sign up for a typing class or some kind of class. I guess they don't have those anymore, but sign up for some type of class, entrepreneurship. And then if you're a student at that community college, they may have an expert that they can help you with, or you can go to the rainforest or somewhere where they can tap into people. Just keep finding paths of who knows somebody who's really, really good at this kind of thing. And I know someone who's really good. He retired, but he really likes me. So sometimes he will let me refer people to him. And if he can't help you, he knows who can. So I hope that helps, Joshua.
Yeah, I think it does. Thank you.
Good morning, thank you. I'm Danielle with Conscious Crossroads End of Life Services. I myself am an ER nurse turned death doula, right? And you're a computer scientist turned guru. I'm curious, what was your biggest challenge that you've overcome personally, that then you said, you know, I can help other people do this, right? I don't want you to get pigeonholed into just patent consulting, because it sounds like you can do any sort of challenges. So aside from getting your patent, what's something that then shifted that for you and said, yeah, this is what I'm going to do with my life?
I love this question. So your question is that what exactly was the turning point for me? What was the light bulb that went on? And it was, first of all, ever since I was really, really young, I always wanted to own a business. And so through those 30 years, I kept wondering, I kept saying, well, I'll let you own a business, but you got to figure something out. You got to do something. Well, when I locked myself out of my house once and my car twice, all within 1 or 2 weeks' time, I went ahead and said, okay, I have to find something that's gonna be on my body at all times. If I have clothes on, I have my tucket on, and it won't come off, it won't slip off, it won't slip out, it won't fall out. I need my spare keys on me at all times. Once I figured out something that worked and had people test it out and tell me if they would pay for it, then I was off and running. But I still had to work and work and work. And finally, that light bulb went off when people were coming to me and saying, can you help me with this problem? Can you help me with that problem? And then when I would get done with that coffee, having that coffee with them, they would say, oh my gosh, you need to do this for a living. You have a gift. And I like, what are you talking about? I was just talking to you over coffee. And they were saying, no, you hone in to what it is I need. And now this thing that I was dreading and hating and thinking was awful and that I suck at, all of a sudden I'm excited and I know exactly what I need to do next. And that's when people were actually telling me, you need to do this, you need to do this. And once my job got to that point, I really was more so wanting to launch my product more than anything else. And then, but everyone just repeatedly kept saying, you really do a great job with helping people get on their path to really, really enthusiastically, with joy and ease, going after something that used to be so hard for them.
That's really cool. So from hearing you right, it's that you were automatically doing this without even realizing you were doing it. And everybody else told you that you had this gift. That's really cool. I've heard a quote from a woman named Anita Morjani that just because something comes easy to us doesn't make it less valuable. Thank you.
Yeah, and I always thought, thank you, Danielle. I always thought that when you have a gift, you think everybody has it. I thought, this is something that not everybody does, and they were like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I'll take your word for it then.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Hi, JJ.
Good morning, I'm JJ with Johnson Brothers Tiny Farm. So as far as your question about social media and video and all of those things, you have a really compelling story. If you didn't have a compelling story, then people wouldn't have gravitated to you and said, hey, help me. You wouldn't have started your guru business, right?
Okay.
So, as you consider, your landing page and all of that stuff, I would focus more on on the consistency of telling your story. Tell your story, tell the story of challenges that you've helped people overcome. And as you do that, utilize, I would focus more, as far as Facebook is concerned, I'd focus more on, stories and reels. Rather than your landing page, because, your landing page is effectively that billboard that you were talking about. You don't necessarily want that, right? Where,
Oh, no, I do.
right, but people won't know you, right?
Right.
But, the consistency of, sit down on a daily basis and have a 1 to 3 minute story that you're telling. People will get to know you. And then the billboards the billboard, your landing page, all of those things can be more effective. And they'll say, I've been touched by the story that she's told, and I see my own story in there. And just on a personal level, one of the most helpful things that helpful questions that you asked me was, after implementing, the things that we talked about, what is it going to feel like 90 days from now? And doing that visualization to say, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to that feeling. And so tap into that. You have a great story. Tell it and let that be the gateway that people get to know you and want to meet you personally.
Thank you, JJ. So the part, you're telling me, hey, that 1 to 3 minute consistency of telling stories about what I've done, what were the challenges that other people overcame when working with me is a meaningful billboard.
Yeah.
Not just a personal billboard that helps them. And a lot of my work is and you also, I don't want to skip over this, the feeling, what's the feeling you're gonna have once you get there, once you visualize getting it done. One of my first client, we didn't say, here's your bullet points. We said, here's your pieces of candy that you're gonna work on this
Yeah.
week. She liked that. Gumdrops was her favorite. She didn't eat them. She just liked to look at them instead of bullet points. And then also, I do have a quick question
Yeah,
back to
absolutely.
you once I get through this next thought is that, so for instance, with one client, something you said touched upon where I helped somebody with losing weight, and I don't say losing weight, I say getting more lightness and slimming down.
Okay.
And this person had not worked out in over 8 years. And after 2 days of us just talking about how they're gonna feel later on, I was expecting it to happen much later on. 2 days later, this person had worked out for the first time for a full hour. I just said, take a walk.
Yeah.
And they worked out for a full hour in their gym with their membership that they hadn't touched in over 8 years. So things like that, is that
Yeah.
what you think would make a big difference?
Yeah, so just helping people to vision cast in their own life. And then once you have attached that vision, then those obstacles become less scary, right?
Right.
And so just be a storyteller. You're an incredibly likable person, and you're very good at what you do in connecting with people. And so taking the time to you're telling your story in a impersonal way, you're not talking to an individual, but just pretend like you're talking to an individual. Tell your story. People will see that and they'll, you know, it'll feel like you're talking to them. And that's a way to introduce yourself to them. And will drive further conversation.
Okay, can you be my coach?
Let's talk about it.
You everything you know.
You did.
Well, are there any other questions online? Oh,
I have one more.
all right.
I wanted to ask if Cassandra is here. No, Cassandra,
Is Cassandra here?
this is if you're gonna eat like chips or something,
Yeah, use the mic.
Use the mic.
if you're going to eat chips at dinner, protein, anyways, these are amazing.
Yes.
I just bought some. Anyways, I have no idea who she is, but
Take the
Just
mic in your hand.
I will get it. Okay. There we go. You guys can hear me.
She's
Don't
one of the
need-
presenters. Her name is Jen.
This is
Jen's Jerky.
Cassandra? Is
Jen. Cassandra is her business partner, but
There we
Jen
go.
makes the
So
jerky.
Jen makes the jerky. Jen jerky, okay. Make that known. So, thank you, Tammy, for spending a second. I actually just moved into this building here, right in the gym lofts. So I bought this. There's way too much space, and so I've opened up a gym here, and I want to open up a personal training opportunity for anybody. My issue is that I have a business out of Florida. It's not really an issue, but it runs fine, but I've felt lazy so far. So what you were saying is the kind of the momentum building aspect of that. Like for me, right now, I want to build this gym up and create some clients and create opportunities. I've been here for about 3 weeks to a month, and I felt a little bit lazy about doing that because I've been comfortable. So you're talking about the comfort aspect of it. How do you think it's best to start flapping this around? How do you think it's best to go around the comfort aspect of if things are fine, but not feeling fine internally, you know?
Yeah, I love this question. There's a reason why you're feeling lazy. Something's just not really getting you going. There's nothing. You're not able to sink your teeth into some interesting vision. And there's different ways that we would discuss. One would be, what would it feel like JJ said, what would it feel like if you don't follow through? Because right now you're comfortable, there's probably, the bills are being paid. Will it ever run out? If it won't, if your source of getting the bills paid, you know, let's say you have $2 billion in the bank, so you're not worried about that. But we would go a different route towards what has meant the most to you. What really has spoken to you in the past, and what are you proud of? What have you done? Where we would start going in that direction about what is it that you really want? Why did you buy this place? What makes your heart sing when you see people getting joy? What is it? And we would just keep going from there.
Yeah.
And figure out what it is. We should have coffee.
All right. Yeah, it was a fleeting idea, but anyways, yeah, thank you very much.
We'd love to have you present too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hi.
And what is your name and the name of your business, please?
My name is Jake Cosley, and I've just opened the LLC. It's Peaks. As in, like, the point of it is that because I've reached this point, I'm only 27, and I've been on lower sides, and I've also been, there's many peaks that you can reach. So at any age or any time, you can always reach some peak, even if it's not the top. And the point is to just get the best that you can. Because I felt that the balance is really the biggest point of life. I mean, because if you struggle for one goal and you drop everything else, other things fall apart. I think the balance is huge. And so that's kind of where I've built my base around while I'm sleeping this. Okay.
Okay, good at
Let's throw this around.
I love that you mentioned that about the balance, because I always say I feel like there's three main categories in life, and that's health, wealth, and happiness.
Prosperity.
Relationships is what I usually say. It's, a lot of people say happiness and love, but relationships, happiness and love wraps around all of it.
Yeah.
And there's usually one leg on that three-legged stool that people are neglecting, that they need to spend more time with or attention on. And that's what I help them figure out what to do without dropping the other two.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. Again, nice to meet you guys.
Thank you, Tammy. One of the things I love about the way we do things here is that you get the chance to share a little bit about yourself, and then the question and answer session opens up so much more information about you and what you're looking for, and also you find out more about us. So thank you for doing that. So I have two questions.
Okay.
What is one thing that this group here can do today to help you keep moving forward?
Have coffee with me.
Yeah.
That is a very direct, exact response. That's super. And of course, I have the traditional New Mexico question: red or green?
Green.
Very good. Okay, well, Tammy, thank you so much for being here. Be sure you get her contact information. There it is right up there on the screen there. Give her a call, text her, whatever, and set it up and help her out with her business moving forward. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
I think Paul's next.